Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm alright.
That's good. Just all right. We can work on that, make it a little better.
I haven't seen you in a few days.
Sounds like you've been busy. I've run into your little helpers a couple times.
JJ and Fen. You remember JJ?
I do. You sent her to me and another one some time ago. How are they working out for you so far?
Good.
Yeah, they approached me while I was making a feeble attempt at fishing down by the port. They were going back the crossing, purchasing new outfits. They wouldn't tell me the truth as to why they were doing it, so that's probably a good sign, right? They said they had a fancy dinner. Not the best lie, delivered quite poorly, but at least it wasn't the truth, right? They might need a little practice. But it's good they didn't say. I saw them again later, I imagine after the dinner. And I pried, and they wouldn't spill the beans. So I'd say that's a good sign, right?
Were you curious or testing them?
I was testing them. I figured you'd tell me if you wanted to. Maybe a little both. But mainly the testing. I want to make sure the people helping you out, I assume keeping you safe or assisting, are up to the task, up to my standards.
And I expect them to be better.
I'm sure they can learn. Wow, the second time I saw them, JJ learned to fish quite well, better than I was doing. Apparently she had never fished before. I'm sure she can pick up fishing that quickly. She can improve on other things as well. Some measure of equal speed. Fan didn't feel like learning how to fish. She said she was, didn't want people to watch her try in case she was bad at it. I feel as if I gleaned quite a bit about her in a brief conversation I had.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Would you like to know what I learned? I'm sure you might know already. First, as special as I like to feel, she's a bit free with the invitations to her room. Maybe it's just me. I declined, obviously. However, she seems to believe that people might become scared of her if they find out who she really is or what she's really like. She thinks that, well, it seems when they were in the crossing, she did something that revealed a bit of her true nature, and she feels it even scared friends a bit, JJ and Colt. Whatever they were up to, they needed a wagon. And without any hesitation, like when she pulled that gun out the first time I met her. Well, she didn't give many details, but she found a wagon and pried the owner off of it. I don't know to what extent the prying went, but she thought it was enough to make the other two have a moment's pause about what kind of person she is. That's about the extent of it, as far as what I'm sure of.
Did JJ react poorly?
I don't think JJ heard. She was fishing with a rope. So I don't know the actual response. It's very possible she's just afraid, so their response seemed worse than it actually was.
And did that make you want to push?
I am curious by nature. It certainly made me want to know just how scary she is. Don't you feel the same?
Curious. A little.
How could you not be? I do also question if she knows exactly the meaning of scary. I asked her who on this island does she find scary, and she said no one.
You think she's lying?
No, I didn't think she was lying. I think she's scared of herself more than anybody else.
Hmm.
The question is, at least as I've been thinking, if someone isn't scared of anyone else, but only themselves, what happens when they're no longer scared to be who they are and let it all out? You see something?
Maybe.
Something more interesting than me?
No.
Would you like to tell me about your fancy dinner party?
It wasn't dinner. It was a meeting with Edgar.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel it went?
Very well.
That's good. You don't feel like you're in danger more, do you?
Yes, but not in a bad way.
I guess scary can be good. Are you glad to see him?
Yes.
You got to talk to him alone?
Yes.
Are you looking forward to talking to him again?
Yes.
If I didn't know better, it would sound like you two are old friends reunited.
We have a history.
This is a lot happening for you right now. How's that storm doing?
It's still the same.
Good.
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 Why good?
I think it's good to feel things, even if they feel out of control at the moment.
You guys, don't mind us. We're just passing by.
I bet they might find someone on the island scary. Those folks are gonna have a hell of a story to tell when they get down to the village.
I don't care.
I think it's a good thing.
And why is that?
Well, it's an exciting story. It's a bit better than saying I heard a monkey and I picked a banana, right? They can go for the rest of their lives saying, oh my God, we almost got killed on Guarma. Someone in the dark jungle with a shadowy woman with a knife came at us, and we narrowly escaped. It'll grow bigger and bigger over the years until you're a full-on monster. Those people remember you forever now. I've been reminiscing a bit, having not seen you for a few days. Do you remember this night well? I do too. You gave me a great gift. You unburdened me of a weight that had been pressing down upon me. You unshackled me so that I may walk with a full stride again. If this storm that's brewing is slowing you down, pressing you into the dirt, I wish to help you be free from it. What's wrong?
You just said it was good.
It is.
And you want me to be free of it?
Well, I don't want you to be free from your emotions. I want you to use them. I don't want them to be a burden to you. If you feel something, I want to feel it too.
Is there anything on this island you are afraid of?
There's one thing that scares me to death. And that's why I'm not going anywhere.
I fear the storm. I'm worried it will sweep you up. And Herbie, JJ, Shepherd.
I can't speak for the others, but I don't mind. What do you think will happen if it breaks free?
I don't know. And not knowing is enough.
Well, sometimes not knowing is the scariest thing of all, ain't it? Whether it be not knowing what people do when they you see the real you, not knowing when that telegram is gonna come from the person you think about all the time. And not knowing what's gonna happen when you finally let everything take over you that you feel. No matter what does happen, if it does happen, if it doesn't happen, I will be here. I will be here with you. Be you woman, be you storm, be you island, be you blood-soaked devil. I will be here with you. What's wrong?
Please don't call me that.
I didn't mean it in a bad way, but I won't do it again. I don't think that's what you are. If that's what bothered you.
I just don't want to hear it from you.
But you won't ever hear it again. I think of you as many things, all wonderful and good. And that is not one of them, I promise you that.
I don't care if you think it, I just don't want to hear you say it.
I will never say it again.
Thank you.
Would you take a walk with me to your bar? I could use something to eat. So tell me, if you don't mind, what is this Edgar like? Is he as you remember?
Yes and no. He's changed. Quite a
Same
bit.
person, but just changed.
Yes. He's grown.
Ah, that's a good word for it. Are you a fan of this growth?
I'm not sure yet.
Curious, though. Good to be curious. I hope I get to meet him at some point.
I believe you've met him once already.
Oh, I did, but that was very brief. And I was more of a messenger boy then, wasn't I? Hardly call that actually meeting somebody. I mean, I would love to meet him.
Is that what you thought you were?
That's what it felt like sometimes.
Hmm.
What did you think I was?
Someone I liked.
Well, I will admit I can be a poor judge of a situation. And I am a bit greedy. I just wanted more. It's not often I'm so patient, but perhaps there is a lesson to be learned. Oh, this smells wonderful. You making something new here?
Drummer's back.
Drama.
That's right.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. They made a mention to him. Well, in this very moment, I'm quite glad he's back. I'm sure you are too. But, to what circumstance do we owe his return here?
He probably senses some vibrations along his web. An oncoming storm.
Storms do get rough in this part of the world. They can, anyway. As I'm sure you know. Are you ready for it?
Yes.
Well, that is what I like to hear. Is everyone else ready for it?
No.
All the better for you. I heard Julius is still amongst the living.
That's right.
Is this something we're pleased about?
I think so, yes.
Good result then. Good to know the man can fight. Can't deliver a gift, apparently, but the man can fight.
He asked me to help him.
When was this?
The night before.
And what did you say to that?
I helped him.
Well, it seems to have done the trick now, hasn't it? What kind of help was he seeking from you? If you don't mind me asking.
You can ask me anything.
How did you help him out?
He had a ritual, a rite he wanted to perform. Guarman tradition. A type of blood magic.
Blood magic. Have you done any blood magic in the past?
I don't want to talk about that.
Okay. But this was something you were able to help him with, clearly.
Yes, I was.
Good. It seems to have worked. It sounds like it's a useful ritual to know.
I don't enjoy being put in that position.
What position is that?
Sculptor, almost.
Sculptor? What was the purpose of this ritual exactly?
Transformation, I assume.
One last gasp of Trying to be somebody different, somebody that could crawl out of that jungle breathing, I suppose, then.
Something like that.
Well, it just means he wasn't very confident that he would be able to do it, as is.
He was very confident that if I did not help him, he would die.
That was very generous of you to do something you're not thrilled about for him.
It seems the world keeps putting me in that position.
Well, to be fair, it was at his behest.
It's always at their behest. Otherwise, I stay back and simply observe.
Do you feel the same way about what you did to me?
No.
Good. I didn't feel transformed, I just felt released. I'd just rather think about you than the other thing. It's a better reminder, a better memento, you know?
It's not the same.
I'm glad. I don't want you to have to discuss the ins and outs of blood magic, but hopefully it wasn't too much trouble for you.
It wasn't.
Good. And the other fellow who pointed a gun at my head, did he ask you for help as well?
Yes.
What did he request as his help?
Just someone to witness him, I suppose.
He just wanted to be seen.
Yes.
Well, that's a lot easier, more agreeable, it sounds like.
That happened many months ago anyway.
Oh, did it?
At the trial.
Well, in my my brief encounter with him, he seemed quite prepared for the little duel the two of them were going to engage in. Maybe he should have asked for a little more help from you the night before as well. Regardless, I'm glad he was true to his word of what he told me. Have you ever been fishing?
No.
I imagine you're not that interested, but I think you'd be quite good at it.
Why do you say that?
Well, even though I'm quite bad at it, to be good requires a few things. You need patience, which you have. You need to know what the proper bait is for what you're looking to catch. And then once it bites, you have to have the self-control to lead it, pull it in, and not rush. And why I think, in my personal experience, these are all skills you have.
Are you asking me to go fishing right now, Maynard?
Would you like to? I'm asking if you'd like to, that's all.
If you would like to take me fishing, we'll go fishing.
Have you ever seen a shark?
No.
Incredible creatures. I'm in no rush to go fishing, but maybe sometime we can do it. Would you like to sit down with me? No. I'm really starting to like this place. I mean, genuinely. And I figure, well, I find myself being a bit more curious about the island. Will you tell me something I've been wondering? I apologize for the vagueness of this question, but I wouldn't know where to start. This, La Madre, would you call yourself a believer?
Would you call yourself a believer in the knowledge that the grass is green or the sky is blue?
I'll take that a yes, but let's say more of a knower, then. Well, I was wondering, just, what's her deal? I suppose I can direct that a bit more. What might a curious person do to show some level of respect to the mother?
Give her a gift?
What sort of gift does she find appropriate?
Something that matters.
How will I know if it's enough?
You won't?
She'll know if it matters to me. Or is it all right if it matters to someone else?
I suppose it depends. Are you asking for something in return?
No. I'd say at this point, right now, it would be more of a thank you.
Then why would you give her something from someone else?
Well, it's just more fun for me that way, but I understand your point. It would lose some of the impact, I suppose. And I believe that's part of my question. Is she the type of one that is satisfied with something from the one who's leaving it? Or is she looking for acts in her name?
Both.
Blood? Both. Will you tell me something you've given?
I am her mouth.
looks like I have a bit more to give than I thought, if that's the case. As I become more curious about this, will you educate me if I seem a bit lost?
If that's actually what you want.
It is. I'm just curious. Obviously. You know, where I'm from, religion has so many other unintended purposes. Unintended from the spirit of the written word of the religion, I suppose. Very intended by those in charge who wield the power of it. And whether it be fear, or to assuage guilt, or to find some purpose or meaning to their miserable life, or even to be accepted into a society where they have deemed the religion to be important. I have not run into many people who believe in some greater power with the sincerity that I do believe that you have for the mother of this island. So I just thought I'd ask.
The Madre and the island are one and the same. She speaks, I answer. Maybe not with words. I answer with a hunger, with silence. With the slow, patient return of all things to the place they begin. Some might call it devouring. I call it homecoming. Every root that drinks every mouth that opens, every footfall that sinks into the earth. She waits. Beneath it all, and I am the door through which you pass. Do you think she weeps for what she takes back?
I don't imagine so.
A mother does not mourn the breath that leaves her child's lips. She only pulls them closer until there is no space between what was hers and what has returned. have not needed to hunt here. I've not needed to chase. I merely open my hands, and people continue to walk into them.
Maynard, Dale, good to see y'all.
Julius, I hear you were quite successful in your battle.
Indeed. Successful enough, anyways. I'm quite content with the outcome.
Well, as of the two, you're the one who hasn't held a gun to my head. I would say I'm pleased with the result.
Well, good. How about you, Maynard? How have you been?
Oh, quite content. I've made an attempt to take up fishing. It's not going so well, but I'm not going to give up just yet.
Oh, well, I'm the worst person to ask for fishing advice. Every fishing trip has ended with me getting frustrated. I'm a very patient man in some ways, but not when it comes to fishing. Something about fishing just, I can't deal with it. Much prefer hunting, but I do know a couple people who love to fish, so if you ever want some tips, be happy to send them your way.
I love it. It's really, I guess I just don't know the right bait. But I also am not very patient. Maybe fishing's not for me, but we'll find out eventually.
Only one way to know, right?
Delilah said she'd go fishing with me sometime too.
Oh, that's delightful.
I said you could take me fishing. Not that I would fish.
Delilah said she would stand and watch me try to fish sometime.
Somehow that sounds more fitting.
Forgive me, I don't remember if I've met your friend or not.
I'm not actually sure.
I don't believe we've met Maynard before, but I could be wrong.
I think I would remember. As you've heard, my name's Maynard. It's nice to meet you.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to meet you, Maynard. The name's Chaucer.
All right. Lovely to meet you, Chaucer.
Yeah, pleasure.
Talking about fate and coincidence and all that sort of thing. Maynard and I know each other from back in the old Van Horn days. I was just
Very old Van Horn days.
I was regaling Chaucer with some of the stories from back then.
You know, I caught myself doing something similar the other night to, I believe it was JJ and Finn. At the fateful night, an attempt was made to throw a party at the old light saloon. And suddenly, a town that seemed abandoned was suddenly full of people who were quite protective of it. Well, I remember I heard Drummer was around, and that got me thinking about Van Horn.
It's been good seeing him again.
I had some of the stew over there, so I'm quite happy he's returned.
One of these days, I'm going to convince Flo to make a pot of gumbo for us. There is no one I've met who cooks like that woman. Really something else.
Did you end up finding Flo?
Not since before the duel, no.
Okay.
I do hope she heard about the outcome.
When's the last time you talked to her before that, Jules?
Before the duel?
That's right.
We wrote a few telegrams back and forth. The last time I actually talked in person with her would have been right around Christmas. Our little escapade, as it were.
She needs to see a doctor.
What's wrong with her?
She's unwell.
She seemed strange the night of the fight, but I had assumed she was just worried. She wasn't terribly eager to talk. Okay. I'll see what I can do next time I see her. Maybe I'll write her, see if she's back in Coulter.
Her mind is a house sinking into the earth.
Understood.
I meant to tell Herbie. And what are you two up to tonight?
Mostly just good conversation so far.
Yeah.
I am rather limited still, which I find frustrating, but have to let nature take its course.
Did you lose it? Your eye.
The eye itself is there. Still working to a degree. I actually got it opened but the wound is quite deep. Doctor mentioned that depending on how that scar tissue heals up, could be a mild problem, could be a severe problem, could be no problem at all. It's too early to tell.
Oh, I reckon you'll be just fine, Julius. Just gotta let your body and your mind heal, you know?
I did shoot those wolves with one eye, so maybe all hope is not lost yet.
Yeah, you did.
You know, that's when Hank made his offering to La Madre.
Hmm. I see.
The moment before he knew if it could be saved. Doctor told him 3 times it might be possible to save his hand. And still he cut it off and fed it to a fire.
I was musing the other day that perhaps if he still had both hands, that fight would have gone differently.
Why do you think that?
Can't say for certain. Merely acknowledging the fact that he is a hell of a fighter, that it was still extraordinarily close even with one hand. But if he still got what he wanted in the end, I suppose the sacrifice is worth it.
Julius, cunning warriors don't just fight with their hands. Doesn't matter how many hands he's got. My money still would have been on you on that one.
I know it would have been. That's why I said maybe. Nothing is ever guaranteed. Any number of things could have gone very differently leading up to the fight. Could have happened differently on the battlefield itself.
Are you regretting not evening the odds and taking him up on his offer?
No.
You feel completely satisfied?
I'm not sure complete satisfaction is in my nature. But I do feel satisfied with my choices, with how the fight went. Getting that moment of understanding each other, of symmetry.
Well, I, for one, have learned to quite enjoy complete satisfaction, and I recommend it to all of you to try every now and then.
Maybe I'll find it one day, Maynard. For the time being, it seems I always find myself hungry. I don't think that's a bad thing necessarily.
Keeps things interesting for sure. There's always more to eat, right?
I guess that just depends on your appetite, Maynard.
Yeah, if you get hungry, there's always something there, though.
How's that healing, Jules?
Certainly making progress. I ripped out a bunch of stitches during the fight.
Oh no.
Adrenaline and all that, I suppose. I know I was telling Pavis. She was patching me up for the final round. It was such a strange sensation. I feel a bit of the pain in my side, but not much. My face, I couldn't feel at all. I felt fine. But the blood trickling down was like someone had poured warm, I don't even know. Not water, thicker. Milk, maybe. Just down the side, and I could feel it dripping. And I couldn't open my eye. I could feel the swelling, but the pain wasn't there. Strange. It's like I was halfway out of my body, halfway operating on a different plane.
To hold on, you were injured before the fight?
that I was.
Well, that's awfully sporting of you to be injured when your opponent has a missing hand, I suppose.
Sporting's one word for it.
So, Maynard,
Mm-hmm.
where is it that you said you met Julius from?
It was such a long time ago, I don't even remember the details of how we met. But Julius had a group of friends that came to be known as the Crown Jewels, right?
That is correct.
Maybe it was Mr. Crow. I did enjoy him a great deal.
Back in those days, Maine and I also had a mutual acquaintance. One you're familiar with, actually. Jocelyn, old Riley.
Okay.
I knew Slim. That's who I knew.
It's a good point, actually. You may not have ever gotten to meet Riley herself. Just,
Sadly, I
just
did.
Oh.
Yeah. The Riley who abandoned her revenge for the death of her daughter at the behest of a man who later abandoned her. I know that Riley.
You know, Sammy's funeral was the first funeral I went to in the crossing.
Yeah, it was quite the event.
Where was that held at?
Now, there's a tree outside of Rhodes, right next to the train tracks by that big red barn when you leave town.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I was thinking maybe it was down near Armadillo.
No, that's where she was killed, I believe.
Yeah. Not long after I got here, I spent a good bit of time down in Armadillo.
I think I even remember the night she died. I remember being in Van Horn, and I remember Julius gave me a very generous offer that night. That if they found Slim, he was happy to bring her to me. For my purposes of revenge, to be clear. Funny how things work out.
Yeah, I cannot say I had much affection towards Slim or Riley in those days.
Well, she kept odd company. As did we all.
Well, Julius is very giving in that way.
I do enjoy giving gifts.
I got a telegram from Sammy before she died. She was running down to save her mama. From the group of people I had just been talking to. I imagine by the time I read it, she was already dead on the ground down on the sand.
Did think it was rather strange. The night I chose to stay behind. It's the night she died. Fate works in funny ways like that.
But yes, I'm no fan of Slim, still to this day, or Riley. Though I found I had a bit more respect for Slim.
I'd be shocked if you were a fan.
Would be a bit sick if I was. I do have a fond memory of her, though.
Really now?
Yes, that was the gurgling noise she made when I stuck a knife in her throat, right before I was gunned down. Sometimes at night when I can't sleep, I think about it and it comforts me. Though I haven't need much comfort at night in a while, so maybe it's time to reminisce again. I do hate I am turning to one of those folks who keep talking about old stories, though.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Well, maybe for you.
Find yourself dwelling on the past?
Not so much dwelling, just bringing it up when I'm talking to people. As if I have nothing else better to say.
Does the present not satisfy you?
Well, it definitely does. But a lot of the present I'm not looking to share. However, I am on a beautiful island. I haven't been here long. There's so much I haven't seen. There's so much I don't know. I should be more curious about it, and I am growing more curious about it. When you two arrived, I was just questioning Dell about La Madre. You know, what she likes, what she is. Big questions like that. I don't know anything, so I have to start at the beginning, I guess.
I see. Well, if you want to learn more, I'm always happy to teach. I take people down to the temple, sharing what I know. It's just one perspective, but perspective that may help nonetheless.
But you're an expert. You a staunch believer? A knower? I don't know what her followers be called. Sons and daughters?
I don't think you even necessarily need to be a follower, be a son or daughter of the Madre. And I certainly wouldn't call myself an expert. Maybe a student would be a better word.
Oh. Certainly not the responses I've heard. It's not the responses I'm used to hearing with the religious people where I'm from. There's a lot more actual humility than preached humility, it seems.
Now, I may be quite steadfast in my beliefs, but there's always more to learn.
Always more to learn, always more to eat, right?
Yes, indeed.
Just don't let your eyes get bigger than your stomach.
Well, maybe you just have to bite a couple more times, wait, and go back later.
Yeah, that is true.
You have to watch it, though. Someone else could take it from you while you're taking a break. A lot of hungry people out there.
That there is. So, Maynard, whereabouts are you from?
Georgia originally, but my ties have been severed for some time.
Oh, no shit. That's a wonderful country down there.
It is. It's a lovely place. I was outside Savannah, is where I grew up. Wonderful country. Not my favorite people.
It can be closed-minded sometimes in the South. I do understand that. The worldview can be smaller sometimes, but meet the right ones, and sometimes it's wide open.
Yeah, I would say the ones I wound up with were a bit too uptight for my liking.
Yeah, I could understand that. Savannah is a very political town.
That it is, that it is. A lot of proper folk there. Very proper.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My mama's side's got some folk down there out in Chatham County.
I hope you never have to go there.
Well, only every once in a while. It ain't been that often.
I sometimes do realize that the further I get away from that place, the more content I feel, which explains why I feel so gosh darn content right now. Among other things. I do like bananas. Is JJ working here now?
That's right.
How wonderful. JJ, would you mind making me a drink? How fun.
She looks great back there, don't she?
Yes, she does.
Like,
Do either of y'all know any good fishing spots around here?
Where does Butch normally go?
Just down there, right at the beach.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
JJ was having an incredible amount of success right on the beach the other night.
Yeah, I know there's some fishing down by the gambling tables as well. I would assume most of the shores pretty good. I don't know if there's areas that are less teeming with life, maybe close to the rocks.
I'll have to take a stroll.
Yeah, I would say definitely you don't want to be fishing out in the jungle. You ain't gonna find shit out there.
I'll take your advice. Don't think I
will
want
say
to
if
catch
you,
anything there.
If you head down there, you might see what did Butch call it? Pescados?
Los Pescado.
Los Pescado. Yeah, yeah.
The fish?
It's a shark.
Ah,
A damn pretty one too.
He believes the shark is a good omen, and I am inclined to agree. Shark visits you, it's a good sign.
if you're on the beach, maybe.
Well, that's exactly the thing, right? I have a very dangerous creature, but
Thank you.
docile, at least temporarily. When that danger's still there,
You're welcome.
Does this have a
for the
name?
time being, it poses no threat.
Maybe the friendly shark.
All right. Friendly shark.
Oh, it's up to you ultimately.
I kind of like it.
I mean, if it gets up there close enough, you can actually touch it. I was down there actually touching its skin. Letting its big dark eyes follow you.
I have to keep my eyes out. Well, that's quite tasty, JJ. I thank you for this friendly shark.
I'm glad you enjoy it.
Maybe this will be a good omen, too. This is actually quite good. may be onto something with her back there.
I know. I enjoy that sharks have one of the biggest smiles in the animal kingdom and not a lick of cruelty.
Seems in general cruelty is a rather human invention. Not that there aren't exceptions, but it doesn't seem to be a natural state for most creatures anyways.
I don't know about that. There are plenty of creatures that play with their food, hurt each other for the sake of hurting each other.
Well, that's why I said most. But even then, I don't know that it's often cruelty. Sometimes, sure, there are rather notable exceptions.
Then what to use the difference between cruelty and instinct?
Suppose it depends. What may seem cruel on the surface, serving a purpose, that's one thing.
I think it's indulgence.
I like that.
I knew a mean old dog when I was younger. He seemed pretty cruel to me. Maybe he was just old.
Well, Maynard, it's all about perspective, right?
Well, and I suppose from my perspective, he was quite cruel.
I reckon you're right. But then maybe from, his perspective, you had a lot to learn.
Could be. He wouldn't have been wrong. Though I doubt he had much to teach me. Except, I had to climb a fence very quickly.
Well, mean old dogs are real good at doing that.
We all have to learn a little about survival sooner or later.
Yeah. And what you reckon that is? You either the dog or the bone?
Maybe a little of both.
Maybe.
No, I'm glad there's some people that don't learn. I definitely enjoy a chew toy now and then. JJ, will you tell me what's in this, or are you a never reveal your secrets kind of bartender?
If you want to know, I could tell you.
I would love to know.
Banana whiskey, honey, and some pineapple syrup.
Oh, banana whiskey.
You said you like bananas.
I do like bananas. Good at mixing, good at listening. You'll be one of the finest bartenders. Now, do you think you know what drink you would serve people who you haven't served yet that you know on this island? For example, have you served your buddy Fan a drink?
I did.
And what did you make her?
The same thing she got last time when Del made her a drink.
Ah, okay. Do you think if I named someone else, you could figure out what kind of drink you'd make them?
Maybe.
Have you made Julius a drink?
No. I don't know if he's well enough to have one yet. He mentioned something the other day he wasn't ready.
But if it was, what would you make him?
I have something in mind.
Well, maybe we don't want to ruin the surprise.
Maybe not.
So let's pick someone who isn't here. What would you make Edgar? Just curious as to why you choose the things you do.
I feel like it's kind of just a in the moment thing. Maybe I try to pick up on something
I
others mention
see,
they
I
like,
see.
that sort of thing. Like I did with you, with the banana.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. I see how that would be a better approach to pull it out of thin air.
Honestly, I've really not talked to him all that much to get a good enough judge of his character, I don't think.
Well, it sounds like he's going to be around a lot more. Maybe he'll have the chance.
Maybe so.
I certainly hope so.
Are you looking forward to him visiting more, Julius?
Very much. I've been looking forward to him visiting for a long time.
See, I know very little of him. I never met him. I've heard a story or two. I have been called a curious little kitten before, so it does have my mind wondering about him.
Then perhaps you'll be getting some opportunities to get that curiosity satisfied yourself.
Sounds possible. At the very least, I'd love to find out what drink he gets made.
Oh, hi, Ro.
Yeah.
It's the mother sturgeon herself.
Christ, don't stop talking on my behalf. Can I grab a drink off you, JJ?
Yeah.
Would you believe me if I told you this is how much of this evening has gone?
What, just dead silence?
Oh, we've been taking our time with this conversation, that's all.
Righto.
That's one way to put it.
How would
It's like
you put
walking
it?
through mud.
Is that how you feel conversing with us?
You could drive a wagon train through all this.
I find it quite comfortable, but maybe it's cultural.
Now you're just making me think of Butch's comments about how quickly Shepard speaks.
That's true.
Well, Ro, how have you been?
About the fucking same. How are you feeling?
Pretty good. Pretty damn good.
That's good to hear. You haven't ruptured any of your fucking stitches or anything by being impatient and wandering around?
Oh, I've been very well behaved, bro. Don't you worry.
I fucking doubt that. I very much fucking doubt that.
I'm just waiting with bated breath to see what kind of drink you get.
Me fucking too. I'm so
Yeah.
excited to see.
I know I'm not the fastest, but it should be good.
I don't care about how fast it takes or how slow it goes. Doesn't matter to me.
Thank you.
I'll be right back.
It's good.
I'm glad you like it.
Oh, yeah, you did good.
I'm going for a walk,
Would you like company?
if you'd like.
Good seeing y'all. Please say goodnight to Julie for me.
You two leaving for the evening?
Yes. I would
Very
like to
well.
find time to talk.
Okay.
I have a lot to ask you.
Yeah.
A
I'll
lot
plan
I'm
on doing that
curious
soon
about.
then.
All right. Good night, Jules.
Feel better?
Thank you, Maynard.
Pleasant enough company, but I am a bit disappointed they interrupted. Let me ask you something. Did your ritual hurt him before his fight?
Yes.
I have a follow-up question. How did you hurt him?
I opened his insides up with a knife.
I have another question. How did that make you feel?
Close to God. Ay, 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 ay. Holy. 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 Good Lord. Well, that was just a casual couple hour stream. Enjoyable. Enjoyed every second of that. I thought for a hot minute. So here's some things you need to know. Okay, actually, let's just let me just tell you something. Some of you might not know the history here or why that was so tense. There is definitely, you were not, I saw the chat, you were not wrong. There is definitely some tension between Julius and Maynard. There's also tension between, a little bit of tension between Delilah and Maynard on Slim. And there will be, I'm sure there will be tension between Maynard and Delilah once he finds out about Edgar. So to give you a timeline of events, Delilah meets Maynard like 3 years ago. And they're kind of like, they're absolutely murder flirting the whole time. That they know each other. And then, I'm just trying to think of the timeline. Rufus dies, and then, like, they just have this, like, cat and mouse game going on between the two of them. Really, there's nothing really more than that, other than only Maynard is allowed to stab Del. Yeah, I think it has kind of progressed to that point, where it's like, I mean, he asked that. He asked, like, if you know, what did you do anything to, you know, Julius? Yeah, I did. Oh, okay. I was interested to see if he was gonna, you know, get a little, you know, possessive about that, because Maynard strikes me as a very possessive character. He's kind of shown those traits before. So I've just been kind of like, oh boy, at some point, this is going to kind of come to a head between them. But I think we actually we dodged that bullet because he very specifically said, was it the same as what you did to me? And she was like, no, it was different. And he had already asked that in the earlier conversation. Otherwise, I think we may have seen him get a little bit more upset there. But instead, he seemed to only want to I was surprised. He seemed to only want to know how it made her feel, which was very cool. You know, he was just more like, okay, so you did this thing. What did it feel like when you did it? So yeah, that was really, really cool. Oh man, you guys, I had a fucking crazy line that was in my head right when they walked in. And I can't remember what it was, but I know that I was talking about, like, you know, I can't even replicate it now, right? But, you know, a mom doesn't mourn what's already hers, essentially, is kind of what I was getting at. And I think I was going to do a callback to the beginning part of that conversation where I said, like, some people call it, you know, hunger, maybe. Is that what I said? I can't remember. And I call it homecoming, I think. I was literally going to repeat that line again to Maynard. And then I was going to say, either way, you'll be inside me soon enough. And I was like, maybe it's a good thing that they walked in, because I meant, oh my God, wait, hear me out. Okay. Ayo, hold on. I meant it as in, you know, the island devouring and returning what belongs to her. But I realized as soon as the line popped in my head, I was like, oh no. You know, I know Trench will take it in the metaphorical mother island eating her child way, but, you know, anyone else might not know that that's what I meant. Oh, dear God, you guys. No, I won't. That was amazing, Trench. Thank you for the scene. Holy shit. But okay, so here's the other juicy lore that you guys don't know. So they had this cat and mouse thing going on, right? While she was in the crossing and working at the Blue Pearl. And then she left to go to Guarma and occasionally would still go back to the crossing and like send him telegrams. And then she met Edgar and Rabbit and never telegrammed again. She didn't telegram for like months. And then when she came back into the crossing and telegrammed him, there's the scene where he's upset at her for that is in the VODs somewhere. It's in last or the 2 summers ago when she was like, "Oh, you're holding my money and I need my money." And he was like, he was not having it. And he marched her into Valentine in front of a whole bunch of lawmen. It was amazing. It was a very good tantrum. I was very happy with it. But yeah, I'm just curious. I'm genuinely curious to see what his reaction will be when he realizes that Edgar has cut Delilah down. Like that scars on her are from Edgar. Because I think I'm expecting some sort of explosion of a scene in some way or another. You know, I have no idea, but I imagine that that's going to mean something, or maybe it won't. Maybe it'll just be a simple conversation of like, I don't really care. But, you know, I think Delilah does this thing where she doesn't really, you know, she doesn't talk about things. She might want to talk about things. Like I had a feeling, like a burning in my chest actually during that beginning scene where I had so much I wanted to say, but I didn't know how to say it. Which I think is just Delilah. That's just how Delilah feels. She doesn't really, words are hard for her. Sometimes anyway, at least words that like matter, that aren't from a removed and safe space. So like there was a lot of things I wanted to share and say, and I just couldn't, you know, I was like, nope, I'm stuck. There's nothing I can say. Oh, except for the big bomb of like, don't call me the devil, even though she references that a lot. Even in regards to herself, she'll say it or other people will say it and she's fine, but she just didn't want to hear it from Maynard, which I thought was very cool. And I wasn't expecting that at all. But yeah, that was good shit, you guys. It was good shit. Another cool evening. Dude, I thought they were going to shit was going to pop up. Oh my God, you guys. I thought they were going to go. I thought they were going to have words. I thought they were going to throw down Maynard and Julius there. They were, you know, and then throw Chaucer in the mix, who's kind of like, what the fuck is going on? He's like reading the room. He's trying to figure out everyone's relation with each other. Delilah can't stop staring at Julius's gut wound. Because I'm just thinking, like, there's no way that after watching him fucking hunt Hank and Hank hunt him in the jungle, that she's not like, I have 1,000 questions to ask you. You know, like, what happened when you woke up? You know, what did you feel like? Like, she just has all of these questions of like, holy shit, you know? And they just haven't had a moment alone where she can just be like, tell me everything. What happened to you? You know, what did it feel like? What was the last thought going through your mind before you hit the ground? You know? It's like her shit. And she just hasn't been able to talk to him about it. But yeah, I was sort of hoping that there would be some sort of confrontation there. Ouch. Yeah. I not necessarily like a violent confrontation, but that felt like it was simmering a little bit. It felt like the tension between Maynard and Jules has been simmering for a long time. And so I was kind of hoping that something would happen, right? The classic PB staying up till midnight RPing. Yeah. Well, I'm going to bed now. We ended on time. I would have stayed around longer, but I really can't. I got to stop doing that. I don't know who that is, Oshi, but I'll look it up. Yeah, he's a fucking awesome character. He's vile as all hell, though, dude. He's like a bad guy. And I find myself being like, I cannot like him. He is toxic and violent and terrible, and he's a bad person. But oh my God. That's fucking Guarma, man. I love all of our fucked up characters too much. I love them all too much. But yeah, I have been dying. I've been dying for Maynard to find out about that, but I just wouldn't bring it up. Not because she's hiding it, because she just doesn't. Like, I play Delilah in a very particular way with relationships where she just doesn't. How would you, if you've never had friends before and you've never really had relationships like this before, how the fuck would you know what somebody wants to know? You're clueless. She's smart about a lot of things, but in terms of interpersonal relationships, she's fucking stiff as a board, dude. She has no clue. So she just never brought it up. It's never come up. But I'm sure he'll be, like, oh, there's this guy back. You fucking had a fancy dinner, which wasn't a dinner. It was a conversation. But, like, I didn't tell him before I was doing it. Just because, Delilah doesn't do that either. It's not like she's going to be like, hey, I'm doing, again, she's fucking has no clue about that shit. So she just does things. I'm sure on some level Maynard understands that, like that she's just going to go and do stuff and she's not purposely hiding anything, but how is he supposed to know what to ask her either? It's a struggle. He doesn't know how to be, something's gonna happen at some point. I also asked in front of Maynard for private time with Julia so I could ask him about stuff, which is fine. I don't think Maynard gives a shit. I think he knows exactly what I'm asking, but do you think he'd go after Edgar? So here's the thing, unfortunately, Skylar, is we're going to be robbed of any Maynard and Edgar scenes because of server rules. So, there can't be any conflict between Maynard and Edgar if there's going to be conflict between Herbie and Edgar. So I didn't even think of that. That's actually why Maynard was taken out of the scenes for a little while with Hank, because Herbie went hunting Hank in the crossing, and then we went back to Guarma, had no idea Hank was there. And then, then conflict came to Guarma. So, Trench had to bench one of them. And obviously he was going to bench Maynard instead of Herbie, because Herbie's got so much history with Edgar and all that stuff. So, yeah, unfortunately, we're probably not going to see Maynard. Well, we might be able to see Maynard and Edgar have a conversation, but I don't know. I don't know. Like, now would be maybe potentially a time in which that could happen, but the moment conflict starts, it's over. So we'll see. I don't know. I have no clue. All right, my darlings, my loves, my darling doves. I'm going to end the stream here. And we're still too young of an account. We can't raid anyone because we're under 30 days old. But I appreciate you being here. And yeah, that's it. There's no raiding happening. So we're just going to say goodnight. I'll fade out. Good night. See you tomorrow. Oh, and for those of you who don't know, the hearing is Thursday around 7 p.m. Eastern. So we'll see you definitely for that, okay? But that might be on the main channel. And I'll probably see you again tomorrow night for more RP over here. Okay, good night.